Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. As one of the new Spirit of Tasmania vessels sits idle in Leith, a Scottish politician is calling for it to be used on a new overseas ferry route. But Labor and the Greens still want it brought home, with a petition demanding its return gaining more momentum.
The new Spirit of Tasmania 4 ferry has been mothballed at a port in Scotland for over a fortnight, but it's recently piqued the interest of Kenny McCaskill, the acting leader of a local nationalist party, who's pushing for it to be used as a new ferry connection with Europe.
It's certainly created a bit of hype, so look, we're positive. We need to get the best deal for Tasmania, and that's what we're looking at.
According to Scottish media, ferry operator DFDS is reportedly considering a service between the Scottish town of Rosyth and Dunkirk in France, though the Tasmanian government is still keeping its options open.
Brokers are currently having discussions.
As talks continue, the opposition's petition to bring the two future spirits home is gathering pace, gaining nearly 3,000 signatures in just over a week.
Everywhere I go, people are telling me that they want the end of this sham approach of trying to lease our ships.
While not signatories to Labor's petition, the Greens also want them kept in Tasmanian waters,
so that they can be properly fitted out and they can be cared for. And if there is any option around leasing, we need to know the full details.
In a statement, a Transport Scotland spokesperson says they support the development of local ports and the potential for new freight and passenger ferry services, but cannot subsidise routes that would be anti-competitive beyond considering grant funding for freight initiatives.
The Scottish Government's response doesn't appear to be very favourable.
The best thing for Tasmania is for us to do everything that we possibly can, leave no stone unturned in trying to find someone to lease these vehicles.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
A car has ploughed into a wall at Kingston's library, narrowly missing pedestrians. Police were called to the scene just after 10:30 this morning. The driver, a woman aged in her 70s, received medical treatment at the scene but was not physically injured. Luckily, no one else was hurt. Two disability support services facing financial difficulties have been given a share of $1 million in much-needed federal funding. The Brain Injury Association of Tasmania will use the grant to develop assistance cards for those living with brain injuries to help communicate their needs with the public.
To be able to show that card is actually really important for me.
We've just demonstrated the benefit of the National Assistance Card, for example. We'd love to launch that nationally for all disability types.
The card will be trialled over the next 12 months. Kingborough councillors have unanimously backed Kingston's Twin Ovals as a site of the Tasmania Devils $70 million High Performance Centre, labelling it a great win for the local community. It comes after the state government ditched plans to build it in Rosny. The centre will house 4 fields and administration facilities and is expected to be completed by November 2027. Well, doubts have been raised about whether private investors will chip in to fund the proposed Macquarie Point Stadium precinct. The government today began testing the market for potential interest, but the Greens say the project is too expensive to pursue and already poorly planned.
This project currently has significant enabling infrastructure that is not only unfunded, but it's not even part of the development application.
The government says the precinct will open the door to more economic investment and jobs for Tasmania in the long term. We're being urged to first seek medical assistance at pharmacies during the holiday period, easing congestion in our hospitals. Experts advise everyone to stay up to date with vaccinations and to be prepared in case of an emergency.
The festive period is a busy time for most, with pharmacies no exception.
It's our busiest month of the year. People are stocking up for the holidays, going away with the family, camping, interstate, overseas.
And with more than 150 spread right across our state, Tasmanians are being reminded to utilise chemists to help ease the strain on other health services.
You can access dressings and wound care and professional advice from your pharmacist.
People will present to hospital or to the doctor when they really don't need to.
They can also be used for preventative measures, especially if you plan on venturing outdoors.
Stopping at your pharmacy, they can guide you on, stocking up that first aid kit.
Or for immunisations, with more than 60% of Tasmanians over the age of 75 lacking up-to-date COVID vaccinations.
The cohort of people who really need to be extra alert in relation to their vaccination status are elderly people and people with chronic conditions.
And if you're still unsure where to seek help, head to the Department of Health website,
where they have a page called Know Your Treatment Options, which will guide people through various types of services that they can seek.
To avoid letting sickness ruin all the festive fun. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Burnie Port's Berth 5 is operational tonight following hasty repairs to a fender damaged by Antarctic ship the RSV Noyina, which had travelled from Hobart for fuel. A crane was called in to hoist the damaged piece out and make it safe for ships to dock. The berth had been closed since Saturday. For many students around the state, today marks the end of the school year, but for one special crossing guard, it's the end of an era. After more than 2 decades on the job, a community stalwart is packing up her stop sign one last time.
When Robin Eltringham decided to call time on her career, her only farewell wish was a no-fuss exit. But the students at St Thomas Moores were never going to let that happen.
She's always happy and cheerful, saying hello.
And that she always says good morning to me.
Swapping roles on her final day, letting her cross through a guard of honour. Before the entire school stopped to say goodbye to their favourite guard.
It was over the top. I was never expecting anything like this. It made me cry to hear all of the things that were being said.
For a whopping 24 years, Robin has been the friendly face helping children safely get to and from school every day.
Every morning and every afternoon, Robin is here. Rain, hail or shine, she puts the safety of our students first.
So much so, she knows all 360 students by name, who their parents are and even what car they drive, so she can flag them over at pick-up time.
They're a lovely family. And that's what they are to me, a family. They're just like all my grandchildren.
That wisdom, that knowledge and that experience cannot be replaced.
As she packs away her stop sign and puts down the flags one last time, it's nothing but love and appreciation.
I'm going to miss her a lot as a crossing guard.
She knows everyone and talks to everyone and encourages everyone. Like warm, gentle smile that she always showed.
A fitting farewell for a true legend of the school community.
I've never been treated so nicely in all my life.
Victoria Eastoe, 7 Tasmanian News.
Well, Murphy's back out on the road, experiencing what you can see locally as part of Tourism Tasmania's Longer Days offering. Murph, where are you taking us to tonight?
Well, good evening, Kim, and welcome to Ranelagh. We're here at the historic hop farm itself called The Kiln. The hop farm established many, many years ago by the Frankham family. Lots of history here as far as our Tasmanian agricultural history is concerned. The Frankhams had this for many, many, many generations. In the latter years, it went into a little bit of disrepair, and more lovingly repair has been put together by the Holmes family, who have added a cellar door, they've added a distillery, an eatery, and someone who shows people around this place is Shy, and she's not too shy to talk to us tonight. Now, Shy, what do people say when they visit this place?
A lot of the time they make comments about the architecture of the place, given the historical value of it. They also seem to mention the smells as well of the timber, given the notes of pear and apple and just old timber in general.
It's very mystique, full of mystique with the history involved, and it tantalises all the senses. In fact, you can do that here because not only can you take advantage of all the wine, the food, the distillery and what what you have here, but you can stay as well.
You can, yes. So you can come here to eat, drink, play, stay.
It ticks all the boxes. So, Kim, I'm going to do some of that now. My favourite beverage in front of me here, a cup of tea. I'll enjoy that and be back with you soon.
Okay, we'll see you a little later. Thanks, Murph. A Tasmanian man who received life-saving throat cancer treatment and surgery 5 years ago has given his own gift back. Matt Mallinson presenting the Royal Hobart Hospital with $80,000 from a charity bike ride.
To see other people that, you know, will come through the Royal Hobart Hospital and get basically better care, better post-op care was the real goal of this year's charity ride.
It's very rewarding to see him being able to then even think of other people rather than just, you know, managing day to day for himself.
The much-needed funds will go towards new equipment and research in the hospital's ear, nose and throat unit. Residents in Hobart's outer-lying northeastern suburbs now have easier access to government services. A combined centre of Service Tasmania Centrelink and Medicare opening in Sorell.
It means that when you come and get credentialed for your federal, benefits, you can also sort out your driver's licence and all your state issues in one stop.
We have a lot of people who live outside of the main city centres who need access to these types of services.
It's the first time in Tasmania the suite of resources are under the one roof. Our cherry growers are celebrating the start of the season with the delicacy making its way to kitchens across the country and overseas. But closer to home, locals are entering a fruit frenzy, stocking up on fresh berries for the Christmas table.
Red and green and ready to add a bit of colour and sweetness to the Christmas table. Our berries are ripe for the picking, a favourite for many, some more than others.
Lots of big berries for little kids to take plenty of bites out of.
With local growers supplying more than just Tasmanians, the state's been labelled as Australia's berry bowl. Cherries are on top in the island state with export values of more than $48 million. About half are headed overseas, many to Asia for the Lunar New Year.
If you really like someone and it's a really important relationship, what do? You buy Tasmanian cherries.
But no matter the fruit, there's nothing like getting it fresh from the farm.
Yeah, eating it within 24 hours of picking it, or if you're here at the pick your own, within a minute, I'd imagine.
Hillwood Berry Farm has had to extend its operating hours in the lead up to the big day. And it's easier than ever for kids and parents to fill a punnet. For the first time, berry lovers will be able to grab their strawberries in comfort with the introduction of tabletop picking. For those worried about keeping them fresh for Christmas Day, growers have a hack.
If you put them in a glass jar, an airtight container, you'll easily get a couple of weeks out of them.
Keeping sweet treats fresh for a festive feast. Zeke Gaffney, 7 Tasmanian News.
A well-loved Tasmanian tradition has returned to Hobart's Elizabeth Street Mall. The Choir of High Hopes performed its 18th Christmas concert, with shoppers getting into the festive spirit.
It's beginning to look and sound a lot like Christmas. A match made in harmony, members from the Choir of High Hopes hitting a high note, hoping to spread some festive spirit.
We're on a mission to change the lives through the power of song.
Giving some of Tasmania's most disadvantaged the chance to showcase their talent.
We've got some people who've experienced disadvantage through homelessness, through unemployment, through mental health issues, through physical disability. Really help grow them so they can change their lives through the power of song.
The event is a cherished tradition for the choir members.
A joy to be out in community at Christmas time and sing the Christmas spirit.
Everybody that comes along is told you can sing, it doesn't matter what your voice sounds like.
This year's concert featuring a number of Christmas classics. The event is also aiming to raise funds for the charity, helping them continue to provide their support programs.
It costs us about $20,000 a year to keep our doors open, and so any little bit really does go back directly into the choir.
Rebecca Gadineris at 7 Tasmanian News.
A happy reunion for Launceston feline Jack the cat, who wandered off from his holiday stay at Bridport 18 months ago. Tonight, reunited with his overjoyed owner, who admitted she thought she'd never see him again.
Jack and his owner Lily reunited after 18 months apart. The friendly feline had been staying with Lily's sister and her cat Mav at Bridport when the two boys disappeared. That was in late April last year, and despite searching for Jack everywhere, Lily eventually accepted he was gone.
That was very heartbreaking. I never thought that Jack would run away because he's always been a lovey-dovey cat.
That was until Lily received a phone call from the Scottsdale Veterinary Clinic about Jack last week.
I thought they had rang to say that, they'd found him deceased, but it was the complete opposite. And first thing I did was just start crying.
She was like, "You've got my black and white cat." And I'm like, "Yes, Jack." And she just bursted into tears.
Vet nurse Amy Robinson was the one who made the call to Lily after scanning Jack's microchip. Jack had been brought to this clinic to be scanned after being found loitering outside a Bridport pub.
He was up at the Bay Inn just trying to be friendly with people, basically.
That's definitely my cat at the pub.
Is that a pub you've been to before?
Yeah, a few times.
I initially thought that maybe Jack had gone to look for Lily because he was pining for her.
Vets advocating that a microchipped animal is the best chance of it being returned home.
And it's also a legal requirement.
Jack living proof the database works. Lily's sister cat Mav is still missing. Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
Hurricanes quick Riley Meredith is keen to have a crack at Jake Fraser McGurk and the Renegades in Geelong on Thursday night after they fell in their season opener against the Sixers.
Whole batting lineup sort of all guns blazing, but yeah, we've got plenty of plans for those guys and we've come up against them plenty of times.
All the teams in this comp, they're strong. You've got to bring your A game and try and get ahead of it early and hopefully get on a roll.
The Canes coaches will make a final decision on the 11 when they get to Geelong and check out the pitch at GMHBA Stadium. Well, moments after being drafted to Essendon last night, Lauderdale's Sophie Strong received a drop-in from state coach Jess Wushner, herself a former Bomber. Drafted at pick 35, it's been a hard road to the AFLW for the 18-year-old defender after an injury-interrupted couple of years. But Essendon were impressed by what they saw. Strong is the only Tasmanian draftee this time around.
There was probably 3 or 4 players that could have been on AFLW list last night. It just didn't happen to fall that way. So it's not that we don't have the talent, it's just that maybe we need an extra team to field that talent.
Kim, that is all in sport.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. Peter Murphy will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
And welcome back, and as you know, we're encouraging Tasmanians at the moment to get out and about and take advantage of the longer days we have during summer. Maybe try something that you haven't tried before and get off the beaten track and have a look around our own backyard. Right now though, we've had a lovely day at the kiln in Ranelagh. Let's see what the day was like around the state. And a bit different to yesterday, Hobart and Launceston 21 today, Devonport 20 and Burnie 19 degrees. Friendly Beaches the high with 23, St Helens 22, Flinders Island and Bushy Park 20, King Island, Smithton, Lowhead and Grove 19, Strawn 18 and Lyawini 12. We did have scattered cloud move over us quickly from the west today. Overnight 22 millimetres fell at Strathgordon and Darwin Dam. Today the best rainfall 12 millimetres at Mount Reid and Darwin Dam. Also a dense cloud band is moving up the New South Wales coast while a good part of the north of the country is under convective cloud. Tomorrow the high moves east of the Bight with a ridge still over Tasmania, a series of troughs through northern inland areas. We'll have south to southwesterly winds at 15 to 25 knots, swells up to 4 metres in western waters, a strong wind warning from Flinders Island to St Helens Point and from Wineglass Bay to Tasman Island. Tomorrow for Hobart, partly cloudy and 21, 20 the top for Geefston, Bothwell fine, partly cloudy and 19. Launceston 24, a sunny day, sunny for Devonport as well and 24 the high for Cressy. Burnie expecting a top of 22, sunny, partly cloudy for Strawn, 18 and mostly sunny for Curry on King Island. And down the east coast, 19 for St Helens, Swansea 22, sunny for Orford and 21 degrees. On Thursday, fine and partly cloudy, sunny over Strawn and King Island. Another fine day on Friday, temperatures in the low to mid-20s. And on Saturday, a light shower over the west and south and possibly over the northeast later. Sunny and 30 in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow. Partly cloudy weather for Melbourne. A shower or two with the winds picking up over Sydney and a possible storm in Brisbane. And the current conditions in Ranelagh are perfect as always, and as it is during summer all over Tasmania. We look forward to everybody getting out and about and having a good look around our state while they've got the time and the longer days ahead. Kim, I've got Aidan behind me. He's here at the cellar door and he's going to prepare for me my favourite glass of Ranelagh water. Back to you.
Oh, another slave that you've got. See you, Murph. And that is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.